Good day, everyone. Today we are going to discuss you about the case study 1, where did the first Catholic Mass take place? But before we start, I want to introduce myself first. I am Angelica Silva from One India, the site of the first Catholic Mass in the Philippines. The popularity of knowing where the first happened in history has been an easy way to trivialize history, but this case study will focus on the significance of the site of the first Catholic Mass in the Philippines, but rather use it as a historiographical exercise in the utilization of evidence and interpretation in reading historical events. This case study is one of the historiographical problem that we are talking to here in the Philippines. We are talking about where did the first Catholic Mass take place, meaning to say there is a more significant exposition about this certain event that we have to focus on.
My name is Marivic Bular from One India, and I'm here to report my part in our group report. So, Butuan has long been believed as the site in the first Mass. In fact, this has been the case from 3 centuries, culminating in the erection of monument in 1872 near Agusan River, which commemorates the expedition's arrival and celebration of Mass on April 8, 1521. The Butuan claim has been claimed on a rather elementary reading of primary sources from the past. Kung tayo ay nagbabasa po ng mga history book, ay mauunawaan natin na usually na ang mababasa natin kung saan nga ba naganap ang kauna-unahang misa sa Pilipinas ay sa Butuan. Ito po ang matagal na pinapaniwalaan, more than 3 centuries. So, kaya po natin pinag-aaralan ito dahil nga po upang malaman kung sino nga ba ang naglahad na ang unang misa ay naganap sa Butuan.
Toward the end of the 19th century and the start of the 20th century, together with the increasing scholarship on the history of the Philippines, a more nuanced reading of the available evidence was made, which brought to light more consideration in going against the more accepted interpretations of the first Mass in the Philippines, made both by Spanish and Filipino scholars.
For the purpose of determining the location of the first Mass, historians only use 3 primary sources, and it must be mentioned. First is the log kept by Francisco Albo, a pilot one of Magellan's ship Trinidad. He was one of the 18 survivors who returned with Sebastian Elcano on the ship Victoria after they circumnavigated the world. Second was the account of Antonio Pigafetta, Primo Viaggio in Torno al Mondo, first voyage around the world. Pigafetta, like Albo, was a member of the Magellan expedition and an eyewitness of the events, particularly of the first Mass. Third was the 7 days in Mazawa. Later on, it will be discussed by Mate Bolor and Mate Endosa about primary sources number 2 and number 3. Now, let me read you about the sources that have been used in primary source number 1, which is the Albos Lag. Diario o Derrotero del Viaje de Magallanes desde El Cabo se es Agustín en el Brasil hasta el regreso a España de la nao Victoria, escrito por Francisco Albo, document number 22 in collection de viajes y descubrimientos que hicieron por los españoles desde fines del siglo XV, Ed Martin Fernández de Navarrete, reprinted Buenos Aires, 1945, 5 volumes, 191 to 225, as cited in Miguel A. Bernard, Butuan or Limasawa, the site of the first Mass in the Philippines, a re-examination of evidence, 1981, Kinaadman, A Journal of Southern Philippines, Volume 3, 1 to 35. For now, let me discuss you about the primary source number 1. It's about Albos Lag. We may see in our book the primary source number 1. the Alboslag. To sum up with, Albo does not mention the first Mass, but only the planting of the cross upon a mountain top from which it was possible to see three islands to the west and southwest, which also fits the southern end of Limasawa. It should be noted that the location of Mazava in Albo's account matches the location of the island of Limasawa, at the southern tip of Leyte, 9 degrees 54 north.
Primary source number 2. Pigafetta's testimony on the route of Magellan's expedition. From the Book of the Philippine Island, Volume 33 and 34. Sources: Emma Blair and James Alexander Robertson. So, ito po yung mas maituturing nating primary sources kasi ito po ay sinulat during the time na naglalakbay si Pigafetta. Although kasama rin naman po si Francisco Albo sa paglalakbay. So, mahaba po ang primary na ito, kaya ito lang po ang dapat nating tandaan about sa primary source number 2. It must be pointed out that both Albo and Pigafetta's testimony coincide and corroborate each other. So, hindi naman daw po malabo kasi nagtutugma naman po yung informasyon na inilahad ni Francisco Albo at ni Pigafetta. Kaya dito, mas nagiging credible po yung source kasi nga, hindi nga po nagkakalayo ang mga inilahad na informasyon ni Pigafetta at ni Albo. Pigafetta gave more details on what they did during their week-long stay in Mazawa. So, kung ipag-differentiate po natin ang dalawang source, na yung kay Francisco Albo and Pigafetta, kung sino po ang nagbibigay ng mas detalyadong impormasyon, ito po ay yung kay Pigafetta. Yun lamang po. At maraming salamat.
Primary source number 3. 7 Days in Mazana. Source: Emma Blair and James Alexander Robertson. The Philippine Islands, Volume 33 and 34, as cited in Miguel A. Bernard, Butuan or Limasawa. The site of the first Mass in the Philippines, a re-examination of the evidence, 1981, Kinaadman, a Journal of Southern Philippines, Volume 3, 1-35. Using the primary sources available, Jesuit Fries, Miguel A. Bernard, in his work Butuan or Limasawa, The Site of the First Mass in the Philippines, a re-examination of evidence, on 1981 lays down the argument that in Pigafetta's account, a crucial aspect of Butuan was not mentioned. Butuan is a riverine settlement situated on the Agusan River. The beach of Masao is in the delta of the said river. It is crucial omission in the account of the river, which makes part of a distinct characteristics of Butuan's geography that seem to be too important to be missed. It must be pointed out that later on, after Magellan's death, the survivors of his expedition went to Mindanao, and seemingly went to Butuan. In this instance, Pigafetta vividly describes a trip in a river, but note that this account already happened after the Magellan's death.